Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is How to Make Error Bars on Excel 2016. This lesson is by John Severance, meant for Bio 112 and Bio 305 by Professor Weinman. This is going to help you make error bars specifically for your final Arabidopsis project that you will likely be doing by the end of this semester. Right here I have our data for our plot. This is in days. This is our wild type and mutant type plants, and I also created our graph already. And before we continue on a whole lot further, I would like you to have your wild standard deviation and your mutant type standard deviation and a space right beside them to eventually create a formula where you would divide that standard deviation by 2. I'm going to show you how I did my mutant type standard deviation. You can do the calculations by yourself, or you can have Excel do it. I have Excel do it, because all you have to do is just equal it, your standard deviation, divided by 2, and then hit enter, and then it'll do the math for you. And then you can also click on this green thing and it'll do all the individual cells for you. So now that we got that going, we will click on the graph, and this is how you're going to get your error bars. You're going to have to click on design, you're going to have to click on add chart elements, you're going to have to click on error bars, and you're going to have a whole bunch of options on here. Don't hit any of these options. These will likely mess you up. Hit more error bar options. So it gives you the choice on whether or not to do wild type and mutant type. You're going to have to do both, but for now let's do wild type. Let's hit OK. We're getting our two different kinds of error bars here. We have our vertical error bars that go up and down. We have our horizontal error bars that go from left to right or right to left. Right now I know that as of right now, he's not going to want you to have horizontal error bars. So I'm going to click on those and select them. And you can see that it's blue here and blue here, blue here, blue here, and that's just to show that you've selected that portion. I'm going to simply hit the delete key, and they're going to go away. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the vertical error bars, and you know they're vertical error bars because you go to the upper right hand corner and you're going to see the vertical error bar. So, and what you're going to do at this point is going to hit custom, specify value. Now this is where your wild type standard deviation divided by 2 is really important. You're going to click and drag this section right here, and then the really annoying thing about the negative error bar is that the selection doesn't work as well. You actually have to delete that in parentheses 1 and then click and drag that same wild type standard deviation divided by 2 and hit OK. And now you have your standard type deviation. If you want to, this is just an option, you can click on the different blue colors to make it the standard deviations line up with the points. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. It really depends on who you are and what Professor Weinman wants, depending on the year. So that's how I did my wild type standard deviation. And the reason why you need to divide it by 2 is because your standard deviation does the options that you saw earlier, did the top half and did the bottom half. So if you did the standard deviation, if you use this as your option, you're actually going to end up doubling your standard deviation on your graph. So that's why you got to divide it by 2 initially in order to have a correct final standard deviation on your graph. And that's it.